My name is Lizelle from Lizelle Love Books, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Today's video is going to be my top 20 romance books of 2022 that should have been included in the Goodreads Awards. Before we begin, I would just like to say thank you to Jess from Piece of Books for asking me to be part of this video collaboration. The first book on my list is my favorite single dad romance of the year. It's Heartless by Elsie Silver. Heartless is about Cate Easton, who's looking for a nanny for his son Luke, and so far he's not been successful because all of the people he's interviewed are either too old to keep up with his son Luke or just want the job because they're hoping he would sleep with them. So his sister-in-law, Summer, suggests her best friend, Willow. And when Luke meets Willow, Luke is Kate's son, he's immediately drawn to her, and they hit it off right away. So Kate has no choice but to hire her. It is the best slow burn single dad romance of the year, Heartless by Elsie Silver, and it should have been on the list in my opinion. The next book on my list is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. It is about Yasmin and Josiah. It is about a divorced couple finding love again, because even though they're divorced, they still work together and they are still co-parenting. Something happens that they need to go on a business trip together, and they discover maybe they're not over each other after all. Before I Let Go is so good. You guys should read it. The next book on my list is Restore Me. Restore Me by J.L. Seegars. It is about a woman whose husband dies in an accident, and it's a couple of years later, and it's her romance with her dead husband's best friend. Little does she know that the best friend has been pining for her for years. And this book is so good. If you want a pining romance, if you want a hero that's dedicated to the heroine, please read Restore Me by J.L. Seegars. The next book on my list is Between Hello and Goodbye by Emma Scott. And it's about Faith and Asher. Faith gets called into her job, and they are forcing her to take a sabbatical because she's always showing up late for work, and she's not taking her job seriously even though she's good at it. So she goes on vacation to Hawaii, And during that vacation, there's a situation where the firefighters have to be involved, and there she meets our hero, Asher. It's Faith and Asher's romance. It is so good, it will make you cry. Between Hello and Goodbye by Emma Scott. The next book on my list is The Words by Ashley Jade. It is about Phoenix and Lennon. Phoenix and Lennon meet in high school when Phoenix's teacher asks Lennox to be Phoenix's tutor. Something happens during the talent show. Well, Phoenix wants to be a singer and start a band, and Lennox helps him with his schoolwork. Something happens one day at a talent show where Phoenix does something to Lennox and Lennon, where he does something to Lennon and she never wants to see him again. So fast forward years later, where he's a famous rock star and one of his bandmates die, and he's spiraling out of control, and he needs a sober companion. And one of his bandmates suggests Lennon to be his sober companion, and that's where they meet again. It's a second chance romance. It's angsty. Even though the book is so long, it's very good. You don't notice the length. The next book on my list is Hidden Waters by Catherine Cowles, and it is about Addie and Emmett. Addie is just finally got out of a cult. She is the heroine's cousin, the heroine from book 1. She is the cousin of the heroine, and she has finally got out from underneath the cult. It's just because her family lives in a cult, and so she's living in an apartment rented but owned by her cousin and her cousin's fiance. And her cousin's fiance, his brother needs a place to stay, and that is Emmett. And it's their romance. It's my favorite in the Tattered and Torn series. It is a slow burn romance. Emmett is so patient with Addie, so that's why it's my favorite. Another book that should be on this list is Fractured Skye, also by Catherine Cowles, and it is Shiloh and Ramsey's book. Ramsey's a horse trainer, and Shiloh is the girl that got kidnapped in the first book. It is so good. Shiloh learns her speak up for herself, to be brave, to stick up for herself against her family, because her family is always coddling her. She gets to move out from their watchful eyes, and it's her romance with the horse trainer Ramsey. Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. Juniper Hill is about Knox, and I can't remember her name. Knox. I think her name's Willow or some. Anyway, she moves to where the Edens are staying out. She's a single mom, and she moves away to be separated from her family because her family means her. She gets a room in Knox's hotel, and it's a romance between Knox and the heroine. It is my favorite book in the Eden series. Juniper Hill. Knox is so patient with the heroine, and he falls in love with this little baby, and it was my favorite book in the series. It's A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall, and it is about a transgender person. It's a historical. It's about Viola, who used to be a man, who gets her chance to live her dream as becoming a girl when there was a war and everybody thinks she dies, including her best friend. So Viola transforms into the girl she's always supposed to be, and she is a companion to her sister-in-law. But when she hears her best friend is not taking his death very well, she goes to him, and a romance between Viola and her best friend starts to form, but there's a problem because he doesn't know Viola is really his dead best friend. This book was so good. I love a good friends to lovers, and the narrator did so good. Next to You. No, not next to you. Next of Kin by. Next of Kin is about Chloe and Warren. Chloe gains custody of her younger sister when she finds out her birth mother gave birth to her younger sister. They called her, said if she wanted custody. She said yes. And Warren gains custody of his younger brother, who is 15, who is deaf, so he uses sign language, and together they get guardianship of their siblings, and through the government's intervention they participate in a program called Team Up, where because Chloe had the space for her baby sister, but she doesn't have the money, and Warren had the money to care for his his brother, but he doesn't have the space, so they live together because they are part of this program. And Chloe is the sunshine, and Lauren is a grump, but eventually Chloe's personality really resonates with Lauren, and they start a romance, and it was very sweet and adorable. I loved it. It was one of those I like everyone but you tropes. It was so sweet. I like the representation of sign language in here. The next book on my list is Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. It is about Meyer and Frankie. Frankie is a comedian, and Meyer is her best friend slash manager. Something happens where Frankie needs to be in a fake relationship, so the people around them suggest, why doesn't Meyer be your fake boyfriend for the duration of this comedy tour? So they agreed to form this fake relationship, but what they don't know is that secretly Meyer and Frankie has been pining for each other, but they don't want to cross that line of friendship. And I thought this book was so good. It was so funny. Meyer is a cinnamon roll hero for Frankie. And the flashbacks, usually I don't like flashbacks, but they work in this book. And I like the relationship Frankie has with Meyer's daughter. Meyer's daughter is also deaf, so they also use sign language. The next book on my list is Blindside by Kandi Steiner. Blindside is about Clay and Gianna. Clay and Gianna agree to a fake dating relationship to make their prospective crushes jealous. Clay is part of the football team, and Gianna is a social media manager. Clay's girlfriend breaks up with him, and Gianna is trying to get the interest of the boy she likes in school. So they agree to a relationship to make their prospective love interest jealous, but while they're in this fake relationship, they fall for each other instead. It's Blindside is my favorite sports romance of the year by Kandi Steiner. Please read it. Another book on this list is Praise by Sara Cate. Praise is an ex-boyfriend dad romance where Charlie breaks up with Bo, but she needs the security deposit from their apartment. So Bo said, it's at my dad's house. Go and get it. So Charlie goes to Emergen's house to get the deposit. But when Charlie's there, he says get on your knees. He thinks Charlie is the new submissive. And when she's like, I don't have no idea what you're talking about, Emerson is really embarrassed. He gives Charlie the check that she's looking for, but then Charlie is really curious to learn more about the lifestyle, and Emerson is looking for an excuse to get closer to his son. So Emerson hires Charlie as his secretary. The next book on the list is Everything for You by Chloe Lace. It's a grumpy sunshine sports romance. It's about Oliver Bergman and Garrett. Oliver Bergman and Garrett. He's a teammate on the same team. There's an age gap. It's Grumpy Sunshine. It's an romance. And they're kind of jealous of each other because Garrett is jealous of Oliver because he's young, he's just starting out in college, and he's just starting out on the team, not college. He's just starting out on the team, and meanwhile, his career is going to be over soon because his body cannot take playing soccer anymore on a professional level. So he is envious of Oliver, and Oliver just thinks he's a grump. So it's a romance between the two soccer players on the soccer team. The next book on the list is Give Me More by Sara Cate. It's an MMF romance. It's a friends to lovers romance. Isabel and Hunter are married, and a romantic relationship ensues when they ask their best friend Drake to be a part of their relationship. The last couple of books are gonna be the books on the Goodreads list that I want to read. It's Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. It's been on the Amazon bestseller list for like weeks, and a lot of my friends really like this book, like Sam from Sam Reads a Little and Jess from Pizza Books. All I know about it is the heroine gets a call from her twin sister saying that she needs to take care of her daughter, and then she moves into town, and she's just trying to get to know her niece, and then she gets into a relationship with one of the neighbors. Another book that's deserving of this to be on this list is Twisted Love. I do agree that Twisted Love needs to be on this list. It's a best friend's brother romance. It's about Josh and Jules. It's enemies to lovers. I like this book. It's my favorite in the Twisted series. So, yes, this book is deserving to be on that list. Another book that I want to read that's on this list is You Made a Fool of Death. It's called You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I have no idea what this book is about, but it's on the Goodreads list, so I want to see if it's good. Another book on this list is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And I've been hearing Bree from In 11 Words talk about this book a lot on her video, so I want to give this book a shot. And another book I also want to read is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. This is also on the Goodreads list that made it, and I want to read this book because a lot of my friends like this book, and I want to see if I would like it too. It's a sapphic romance. It's a stepsister's best friend romance. So I want to read this book just to see if I like it. And a historical that I think should be on this list is Phoebe by Minerva Spencer. It is a marriage of convenience romance because the heroine's family, her house is in danger of being bought by someone else. So she asked this duke to marry her to keep that from happening. Phoebe by Minerva Spencer. Those are my list of books. Those are my list of books for the top reads of 2022. Please let me know down below if you have read any of those books. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell down below and please leave a comment. Bye.